Watch Dr. Drew's new show at 9 on HLN. Weeknights on HLN.
Well, I got involved with the MS movement about 5 years ago when I took part in a Bike MS event because I think they're fantastic events. There's a great energy. And then when I was turning 40, I have this life list that I live by, and I thought I need to take on the biggest physical and mental challenge of my life, turning 40, because everybody was telling me I was going to have this midlife crisis.
Did you?
No, thankfully. I've got past it. But I decided that, you know, I know how to ride a bicycle, and I know it's a long way from L.A. to New York, so I got on my bike, and I started riding. Went with my dad, went with my best friend, wanted it to be this real pilgrimage and go out and you know, really push myself physically and mentally. And I thought, rather than hanging out with some guys, you know, in 10 years' time, having a beer saying, oh, yeah, I rode across America, I felt that there was a real need to do it for a greater cause, and I chose MS as my cause that I support. So we set about raising $250,000 during the ride. We hit that halfway through, and we got to $500,000, and my ultimate goal is that we'll get to $1 million.
Had you had some personal experience with MS that sort of led to you choosing MS?
You know, I didn't. I found
you
out
had a cousin or something, right?
Right. But I found all of that out after I got caught up in the MS movement through the bike rides. That's the irony of the whole thing. Now I've found out that I do have a family member who has MS, who happens to be a television host in New Zealand, who hosts a fishing show, who was diagnosed in 1997, who ended up in a wheelchair and refused to let MS define him, and continues to host the show to this day. So I've become inspired by him after I really got caught up in the MS movement here.
Well, MS is one of these diseases where the research and the treatment has really moved along rapidly. And
yeah.
I know my own patients, once certain treatments came along in the mid-90s, it was an entirely different situation. I mean, it was really bad news before that. Now, people can live normal lives with minimal symptoms. Melissa, you seem great. Tell us how it's manifested, how you've had to deal with it.
It manifests differently depending on the day. So you kind of wake up in the morning and you think, okay, what's it going to be like today?
Well, let's explain to people what it's like. I mean, because as a physician, I can tell you, it's what are called plaques in the brain, little patches where the immune system attacks the myelin sheaths of nerve, for people wondering what MS is, and it just takes out little pieces of your nervous system from your spine to the tip of your head. So you may one day have weakness on one side of your body,
right.
Next day blindness in one eye, next day bladder problems. Is this all stuff you've experienced?
So I did lose the sight in this eye, and then, thank goodness, knock on wood, I do that a lot.
It came back. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is again, with the medicines and with the treatment, it can come right back.
Yes,
it's amazing.
And then I lost in the other eye, and vertigo, numbness in different parts of your body.
Is it scary when you get these attacks?
It's scary because you don't know where it's going to go.
MS has this wonderful quality to it that no one can explain called belle indifference, which is, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Is that MS patients maintain this extraordinarily positive attitude about their illness.
You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
You are right about that. I noticed this on my ride, and I think that's one of the reasons I have got so passionate about, you know, because Melissa and I actually know each other. We didn't know that we were going to be on the show with you today until this morning, but I have found that everywhere I went on my ride across America, this extraordinary have you found that too, Melissa?
Well, it's part of the condition.
Is
it? It's got a name. It's called belle indifference. People literally be hanging, part of their body not working, and go, that's just my MS, we're going to move on. Right? Is that how you feel about it?
It is how you feel, because that's how you get to the next day. Right? It's an obstacle at the time. It's just the bump. So the question is, not is it going to go away, but how do you get over the bump? Because you're going to get over it.
Well, and it's got to be extra stressful as a mom. Is it not?
It does.
How has it affected you as a mom?
Well, as a mom, when I chose to become a mom, I wanted to be a certain kind of mom.
You already had MS.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And it wasn't going to stop me, though, because I wanted to have children. And but I wanted to be a soccer mom. I wanted to be there for my kids at their school plays. I wanted to be involved. And so when you wake up in the morning and you can't use your hands or you can't pick up your child, it's hard, and it's not the mom that I wanted to be. And, you know, you feel sorry for yourself for a day, and then you say, okay, but I can be that mom. I just have to modify it.
Does it scare your kids?
No, but my daughter, she had open house last week, and she had written a poem that she read to me, and it was all about if she couldn't fail, and it was that she would have a day where my mom wouldn't have to give herself a shot anymore. And because they're all a part of it, and they've always watched me give my shot.
It's a very intense disease, Phil. I'm so glad you glommed onto this one. It really does make a difference.